Hello, my name is Elina Pelikan. Welcome back to my scriptorium and this series on iconography, where we learn elements about iconography and practical things you can do at home to work on the skills. Today's topic is acrylic icons on canvas and the process of painting an icon from dark to light. These icons that you see behind me are for a church in Katy, Texas. I've shown them to you before. This one has a lot of work left to do. So I'm going to show you the process of how we paint. I'm going to use acrylic paints on this loose canvas. This process is called mariflage, and it allows me to work on the icons in my home studio and bring them there instead of to stay there and paint them directly onto the walls. It also means that I can remove them from the walls if we ever needed to move them to another place. The process of painting an icon is very similar regardless of what sort of material you're using. So let's talk a little bit about that process. The first step in the painting process is to apply a dark color to the whole space that we'll be working on. I'm going to start with this color right here. Some call it protoplasm or sunkir. I use ochre, which is about the color of my dress, and a little bit of black and a little bit of red. So I'm going to take this color and I'm going to go over all of the skin that I see. Now that I've put down my base coat of the protoplasm, I'm going to go and I'm going to make my lines visible again. So I'm going to take some red, mixed with a little bit of water, and I'm going to mix in some black. I'm going for a deep mahogany color. As you see, the black is very, very strong. I'm going to go back over all of the lines that I've already done. Now that I have my base coat and my first lines, I'm going to go and do my first highlight. For this color, I'm going to start strictly with this ochre color. It's a yellow. It's a little bit less saturated, a little bit less bright, and it's a little bit deeper. It's a color that is the base of a lot of iconography. I'm going to take a little bit of this ochre and I'm going to highlight certain parts of the face. And I'm going to begin up here. These lines will blend into the background. As you can see, I have finished the first light right here. All of this ochre fades right into the background color. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to add some life. I'm going to use this bright red color that I used to make my lines, and I'm going to water it down a good little bit. I'm going to dip my brush in some water, and I'm just going to add, I'm looking right over here again, I'm going to add some red right over here. You see it's very, very watered down. We want it to be very blendy. Now that I've done my first lights and the life added the red into the layers of the skin, I'm going to do my second light. For the second light, I'm going to add a little bit of white, not a whole lot, a little bit of white into my ochre. I use a spray bottle to keep the paint nice and soft. I don't want this to be too much lighter, just a little bit lighter. And now I'm going to go back into all the same places that I began on, but I'm going to make them a little bit smaller and I'm going to blend them together. So the second light is just a little bit lighter, and I went over all the same places, but I feathered it out to kind of blend it all back in. I'm now going to come in, I'm going to add even a little bit more white into my ochre. Once again, this is just white and ochre. It's a little bit low. I'm still going to use probably the same brush. I'm going to start switching to a smaller brush soon, but I still want this color to blend out because this light is really going to blend. Now that I've done the first lights, the red, the second lights, I'm going to come in here with a much lighter color and a smaller brush and start putting in some of the details. This is a smaller brush that will give us the lines that we're looking to get. So I'm going to come in right up here at the top. As you can see, it takes a lot of layers before we get to where we want to be. We're still not quite there yet. I'm going to take some red before I do my final white lights. And I'm going to give a little bit of red here on the inside of the eyes. Now, before I do anything more, I'm going to give Archangel Gabriel some brown eyes. Just a little bit. My final lights are pretty much solid white. It's a little bit of ochre left on my brush, just a touch. These signify the divine. The final thing I'm going to do is go back in with my last lines. As you can see, a lot of them are covered over from all of this. And that is my process for finishing the face of the icon. I'll still work on it and refine it as things go, but as you see, it takes lots of different steps, layers and layers from dark to middle to light, to bring out this stylized look that has been handed down through the ages. And now for your challenge at home. For today's challenge, we're going to work on drawing the face of an icon in the Byzantine style. This doesn't look just like any other face you've drawn, it has a unique style. And this is how I've been taught to draw it. So, all you'll need is a piece of paper and a pencil, or a pen, or anything you'd like to. And we're gonna go step by step so you can see how I make these icons. So, watch and see. The first thing we're going to do is 2 diagonal lines. It'll be this part right there. 1 and 2. Easy enough. Now we're going to do 2 parallel lines for the bridge of the nose. It tends to be long and skinny. 1 and 2. Just like that. Looks like a long funnel. The next thing we're going to do is the bulb of the nose, kind of like the shape of an olive. Just a little one right here. Don't want to make it too big. Then we're going to do the nostrils. First, 2 parentheses on either side. 1 and 2. And then 2 little bumps on the bottom for the nostrils. 1 and 2. Then we have a nose. Now we're going to do the eyebrows. Each of them get 3 lines from a point starting on the outside. Eyes tend to be fairly big in icons because they see a lot. We're going to start at this point right here. We're going to do 1, 2, and 3. Same thing over here. Try and make it symmetrical. 2 and 3. Now we have the nose and the eyebrows. All right, let's talk about the eyes. For the eyes, we're going to do a scoop, a bump, right? It should be a little bit smaller than the eyebrows, but we still want them to be a nice size. Do 1 and 2. About like that. If it's not perfect, don't worry, just keep going. For the bottom part, we're going to start with a T right here, a perpendicular line like that. We're going to go like this, and we're going to scoop and come up. Like this, scoop and come up. Then we have the lines. Now we're going to do the irises. Irises are not the whole circle, otherwise you'd look very surprised or afraid. We don't want that. So we're going to do just sort of a bean shape towards the top of the thing. Not too small, not too big. Then we need to do the pupil. The pupil is a dot towards the middle. I personally don't like it to touch the top, but almost like that. The last thing we need for the eyes is the eyelid. There's always that eyelid right there, almost always. We're going to do the same line as the top, just mirror that right there. 1 and 2. Now we have the eyes, the eyebrows, and the nose, and all we have left is the mouth. For the mouth, we're going to do 3 scoops. Trust me, it's funny, but it's true. 1, 2, 3. 3 scoops. And those are the lips. Then we're going to take the center scoop. That's the inside of the lips. And we're going to put 1 line going out on one end, 1 line going out on the other end. It shouldn't really go up. You can put a little line right there to make them look happy. And now you have an icon face. From there, you decide, is this a male saint? Is this a female saint? I'm going to put a mustache. You can look at lots of icons to get ideas. We also have the scoop underneath for the chin right there. Decide how you want to do these beards. They're all different. Sometimes they're curly, sometimes they're white. The ears are right here to the mouth. So we're going to put an ear right here, and I'm going to put an ear right here, and I'm going to do the hair. From here, you want to look at icons and just keep trying. I think the ear right here. The hair does come up with sideburns right there. All right. Sometimes you have some hair scooping down here. You want the head to come up a good ways because you don't want the eyes to be at the top of the head. Because you might notice my eyes are right in the middle between my chin and the top of my head. They should be right about the center, maybe a tiny bit up. But if you put the eyes too high up here, there's not going to be room for a brain. So we want to have lots of space there. God's rational sheep. From there you want to do the halo. You can work on the rest of the body, but this is the basic lines of an icon face. I'd love to introduce you to Quill, my Scriptorium kitty. She loves to get into trouble, to knock things over, and to put paw prints on things. She is very helpful. She'll probably show her face in some future videos. Today I showed you the process of painting the face of an icon from beginning to end. We started with a base color working dark to light until we had all of the features present. We did the Archangel Gabriel. Next, I'm going to take these icons once they're finished, and I'm going to bring them to Texas to put them on the walls. I'll bring you with me. Then we worked on drawing the face of an icon. I hope you had fun doing that, and I hope you continue to practice. It's the sort of thing that the first time you do it, it looks pretty cool. The second time, it looks even better. I've been working on this for 20 years, and I'm still working on making them as good as I can make them. It's part of the process. Next episode, I'll show you what it's like when I put these icons up on the wall, and I have a very exciting project for you. This one's going to require a little more preparation on your part. You'll need more than paper and a pencil. If you can gather a frame, a Sharpie, an icon that fits in the frame, and some acrylic paints and paintbrushes, you'll be able to follow along and create your own glass icon. It's going to be very much fun. Thank you so much for coming, and I'll see you next time.